parshas teruma, the first sikha. The Rebbe is talking about the difference between davening, which is subjective, and learning, which is objective. The subjective is called koiches hanefesh. The objective is called atzmos, etzem hanefesh. Let's see how we can say that in English. What is a subjective experience, or koiches pnimim? A koich pnimi, like seichel and mides. What happens when you understand godliness or you love godliness? Pnimis, like a feeling in the heart. Pnimi means inside. A feeling in the heart. What does it mean, in the heart? What does, for example, b'chol levavecha mean? With your whole heart. What does that mean? How do you measure an emotion? Do you love God with all your heart or part of your heart? What does that mean? How do you measure that? Love doesn't come in pounds, in ounces, or in inches. So the Gemara says, what is b'chol levavecha? What is your whole heart? It means with both the Yetzer Hara and the Yetzer Tov. So b'chol is no longer a measurement, more or less. It means you have two hearts. If you love God with your nefesh elikis, that's only part of the love. If you love God with both your Yetzer Tov and nefesh ebahamis, that's called b'chol. Your entire heart, because you have two hearts. The same is true, I think, everywhere where it says what seems to be a measure, a higher madrega. Or even like in Tanya where it says, Nefesh Hashenis b'Yisrael, Hechelik Elokah mimal, Mamesh. Mamesh. What does that mean? Mamish means what I just said, I really mean? I mean, really? No, that's not what it means. Mamish is a level of godliness that would not be included. You're saying that it's a chelik elokah. It's pretty high. Mima'al. Ooh, now you're really going high. Mamish means a third level. Not very much. It's holy, it's very holy. What does that mean? Very adds a whole nother layer of holiness that would not be there without the word mamish. So b'chol levavecha is not a measurement, it's not how much you love. It's a completely different kind of love. Because if you love only with your Yetzer Tov, that's one kind. If you love with your Yetzer Hara, that's a whole different kind of love. So, we're talking not a sliding scale, not a quantitative difference. We're talking qualitative difference. So what does it mean, b'chol levavecha? It means no part of your heart is left out. The love permeates every part of your heart. In practical language, it means you love God to the fullness of your hearts so that there is no room for other loves, for love of non-holy. All of this is pretty awesome if you're describing a human being. But after all of the awesomeness, it's still a human being. So if my heart is absolutely full of love for the Eibishter, will I give up my life? Will I give up my life for the Eibishter? Not necessarily. Because what has been affected are parts of me, not the core of me. My love, my fear, even my seichel. My seichel has been moved by the thought of God. My heart has been excited, stimulated by the thought, by the presence of God. Has that affected the me? The core of me? How would I know? Are you willing to give up your life for this? In other words, does it touch you so deeply that there is nothing else left in life? Like we were saying, if your heart is full with Ahavas Hashem, there is no room for any other Ahava. Ahava Zora. If your mind is full of godliness, there's no room left for Machshava Zora. But the fact that there's no room for a Machshava Zora doesn't mean that your life has been filled with godliness, so there is no life other than godliness. So what is Mesiras Nefesh? Mesiras Nefesh means I can't live without godliness, because godliness is my life. So that's not B'chol Levavecha, that's B'chol Nafshecha. And even that is not your core. A person can decide not to have Mesiras Nefesh. It's a choice. So even when a person does choose Mesiras Nefesh, this is not coming from the core of his existence, it's his feeling or attitude towards life. It is not Etzem HaNeshama. Or put it different words. Mesiras Nefesh applies really to the Nefesh HaBahamis. The Nefesh HaBahamis is afraid of dying. So giving up your life literally means giving up your Nefesh HaBahamis. Because to your Nefesh HaLikis, life is not the final, most important consideration. So in a sense, to the essence of your Nefesh HaLikis, Mesiras Nefesh is no big deal. Because it's not going to die. So if the Eibishter wants me here, I'll be here. If he wants me back in heaven, I'll go back to heaven. This is not even a Mesira. I'm not giving up anything. Because the Nefesh HaLikis will be a Chelek Elokah, whether it's here or there. So what is Etzem? Etzem is B'chol Ma'idecha. Etzem means not I prefer dying over giving up Elokus. Not I can't imagine living without godliness. That would be Mesiras Nefesh. B'chol Ma'idecha means, what is the issue? What are you asking? Godly, not godly, life, not life, what are you talking about? It's the etzem, it's the core. It's not negotiable. There's a part of us that responds from the core, and it's responding to the Eibishter's core. It's be'etzem. A man wrote to the Rebbe that he wants to convert to Judaism. This was when Miyu Yehudi was a very hot topic. He wants to convert to Judaism, and he wants to do it orthodox because he wants it to be 100%. So you'd think the Rebbe would be pleased. The Rebbe says to him, there is no 100%. You can't be 100%. Because if you make it percentages, then you say 100, somebody else will say 80. Being a Jew does not come in percentages. You're either or you're not. It's all or nothing. It's etzem. So it doesn't come in percentages. 1,000% is no better than 10%. It's a powerful statement. So, in the Mishkan, and in the davening, and in the learning, the Rebbe shows where one thing is affecting you on a level of godliness, kaiches pnimim. How is your mind touched and inspired? How is your heart touched and inspired? Even how is your life touched and inspired? But then there's the part of your neshama that is one with Hashem, and that etzem doesn't break down into details. And that's why it applies to everybody. The chiddush is that even when it applies to everybody, each individual does it a little differently according to his circumstances. Because the idea is to bring the etzem of the Eibishter into the lowest different levels of existence as they remain low. They don't lose their distinctions and just melt into godliness. They remain their distinct selves. And into that lowest of places, you can bring the etzem of the Eibishter. In fact, only the etzem of the Eibishter can reach that far, that low, that deep. Whereas the keiches pnimim are limited to how far they can reach. You have to have edelkeit, you have to have understanding, you have to have bittul, kabbalah soil, otherwise it doesn't work. So that is the theme or the core of the Sikha.
Good.
You can choose either of the